Hi everyone, I'm Seema's husband and I'm going to be guesting on her channel today to show you how to make homemade sauerkraut. To get started, I'm going to weigh my cabbage. This one's a little over 2.5 pounds and this one's just under 2. So let's say we have about 4 pounds here. The weight will affect how many jars of finished sauerkraut we end up with and how much salt we use in our finished mix. I usually figure about a pound for a pint jar. I'm just going to peel the outside layers of the cabbage off. I'm not actually going to wash the cabbage because I want some of the natural bacteria that's on the leaves. We're going to cut out the tough part of the cabbage first. So I kind of cut it roughly in half, staying away from that like center stem section. And just come in and make like a triangular cut here. Get that core out as much as you can. And then with what remains, we're just going to chop it finely. So what makes your sauerkraut is actually just salt. And I want to use 1.5 to 2 teaspoons per pound of cabbage. So in this case, I'm going to end up doing 8. Then I like using caraway seeds as well. And this, just sprinkle until there's a good amount in there. Then you're just going to take your hands, work all that salt, caraway, into the mix. Try to get every piece well salted. You'll start to feel the cabbage just starting to sweat as you work the salt in there. I'm gonna let it sit for about 15 minutes. All right, while the cabbage is resting, I'm gonna add mason jars as well as these little springs. These are stainless steel and you'll see what they are in a little bit. We're gonna add that all, let that come up to a boil, give it about 10 minutes to boil. That'll sanitize everything before we make our sauerkraut. Alright, so I'm going to let these jars continue to boil, but I'm going to pull one out here and get started. You can see it's been maybe 20-25 minutes. The cabbage is wet. It's starting to wilt a little bit. This is all just from the salt. What I'm going to start to do is just fill this jar and start condensing it with a wooden spoon. What I'm really trying to do is to get all the liquid out of the cabbage, or start to have it extract more liquid, I guess I should say, so that some brine starts to form in the jar. If it's in liquid, it should not grow mold. If it's above the liquid, you could get mold. So when you're ready to ferment, I actually use this fermentation kit. It's made by Ball Jars, the people that make the canning jars. And you see it fits right into the pint jar. And then this lid has a special fermentation lock on it. It allows carbon dioxide to escape. It does not allow oxygen in, which would spoil the ferment. You could also use just a regular ball jar lid. Keep it loose, check on it every 2 or 3 days. Allow the carbon dioxide to escape. All right, all 4 in a plastic tray. I will take that down to the basement to cure. See you in about 2 weeks. It has been 2 weeks since I first bottled these. I'm going to open them up, see how everything looks. Right, so there's a little bit of foam at the top, bubbles, that's okay. That's a good thing. All I'm going to do now is put my fermentation cap and spring in the sink to wash. And put a regular canning jar lid on each one of these. Yep. So here we go. This one has a little mold on top there. That could have been a little piece of cabbage that was stuck on top. It's just one little spore. You see just that little spore there, but if I look, the rest of the jar has nothing. What I would be worried about is if everything inside looked moldy. And then these jars can store in the fridge for probably like 3 or 4 months. Just keep an eye on them. As long as they still smell fresh and there's no mold, you can store them for a long time. It's a good way to extend the life of your cabbage and also to get some healthy probiotics.
Enjoy.